James, and he says one day he'll be famous, and there ain't nobody who ain't gonna know what his name is. And James has got the brains and potential for greatness, but James ain't got no aim. He just scribbles in papers and makes the mistake of leaving them out for his parents to take him. And they ain't thinking about the time that he took to create them. They're just looking at his language like there ain't no way that they're gonna let him get away with it. So they throw it away, then they take everything away from him, and they make him make a promise that he will refrain from making any more songs with that language that they didn't even allow in the homes or he played on the radio. But they didn't know he wasn't ready to go down without a fight. No, he would continue to write, but despite his best efforts to try and hide those little pieces of paper, his parents always still seemed to find him hiding behind a book or inside a pocket. How many times we gotta tell you, boy, you got to stop this? But he ain't worried about restriction. He's just pissed off that he didn't memorize that rap before they tossed it. He's exhausted, dreams almost squashed. Then he thought, if I don't write down my thoughts and I just memorize them line by line, when writing in my mind I can finally stop them for tossing my rhymes out cause they're locked in my noggin. Now nobody can stop him. This just opened a new list of options. This is awesome. Yes, the process is daunting, but ultimately it's progress, and that's just the first steps to him evolving. And yes, sometimes he still scribbles a paper, but just as a time saver, it's a way to lighten the labor, and the completed product negates the paper so they can throw it away. It won't shake a waiver or take away the dedication that they were ultimately to blame for. And arguably he's way more talented than he would have been if they didn't complain, or he would have obeyed more. But instead he stayed course and stayed sure that this is what he was made for. He continued to make more raps for him and his friends to laugh at until the day that he joined the Air Force. He tried to make that a career, but fate had other plans. Now it's in his rearview mirror. Next was Walmart, and that job began to steer him back into rapping. And that's when he remembered a passion, to grabbed him and slapped him and told him that this is your career, this is why you're here. Look at the way that your words fall into their ears, and then look at their faces. It should be perfectly clear. Now this is exciting. He's enlightened and he's writing so much it's like he caught lightning. Mike downloaded Fruity Loops, Clint stole a mic, and it's like he's got his cake and he's eating it with his ice cream and icing. And now that he's recording, every song is important, and he's writing about his life so there's no shortage of stories. And a coworker showed him where he can go and perform, and before he knew it he was standing in front of everyone holding up an award. He won most commercial track, and yeah, it was just on this little cheap plaque, but it's one hell of an honor to get recognized for your rap. And he was the only one out of anyone who even got a call back. They said, we want to record your music video because we think that it's going to go viral, and you don't even got to pay us a dime, but you got to sign this dotted line though, and 20% of everything could be yours, but 80%'s mine, bro. And that basically means they own his song. But he didn't see that at the time though, because he had dollar signs in his eyes, so he signed a little dotted line with a smile. But the video never went viral like he thought. It got a little over 20,000 views and it stopped. And even if it made him any money, he didn't give it a second thought. He didn't pursue the producers, he just wrote it off as a loss. See, it didn't happen for him, and this is a habit for him, because when things don't fall in his lap he feels like they're not informed. But he doesn't quit rapping, no one can convince him of that with no one. Matter of fact, his level of skill in rap keeps growing, and he crafts a rap that's reminiscent of a classic form. There's no hook, verses, or chorus, it's just a massive poem, and he designates it an epic. And the cornerstone of his work is born. And by this point he's moved on from Walmart to the next chapter in his story. The military's paying him to go to school, and they're also paying his room and board. And you would think between class and homework that he wouldn't have time to record, but through the school he's gained new tools, and now he's writing even more. He's beginning to mature, and he writes a song that's his first without curse words. And it's just as hardcore as any of the other raps he's ever written before, if not even more. He produces and records over 16 gigs of storage, but he loses all of it when he drops his hard drive on the floor. Devastation's an understatement. That was his art, his heart's breaking. Luckily, some of his songs made it, but he lost all those beats for all the songs he's still making. And my God, the time wasted in freestyles. He recorded hours upon hours upon hours of freestyles, and now how is he supposed to replace it? He has to accept it's just a race, and there's nothing he can do to change it. He's getting sick of chasing his stupid dream he's been chasing for half his life, and it's basically like saying that half of his life has been wasted. Wait, did he say that some of his songs made it? 46 songs are saved to his homepage, and it's all the greats and all of his favorites, and all the songs that weren't quite as great, and admittedly some songs that he hated. But you know what? It's okay, because his songs are safe, and he sighs in relief because his words weren't wasted. But then he just stops recording. Things start popping up in his life that are a little more important. He starts working, just going to school full-time was no longer enough to support him. Now when he writes, it's out of boredom, but Lord, when he writes, it's scorching. The torch is still lit, his music is still important, but more important, he talks his girlfriend out of having an abortion, even though he's got a wife that he hasn't divorced yet, and more shit after more shit. And before he knows it, he had 4 kids, and it's been 4 years since he's recorded. So he tries to force his next creation with this little song that he calls inspiration. It was so close that he could taste it. Hell, even his mouth was salivating. But that was all that he could think to say, and then writer's block got in the way. But he can't let it stop him, he's gotta find a way to keep writing. So he decides to make another song where he can just say whatever he wants, and it's okay if it's not the greatest song that he ever makes. So he makes a song, and it's better than okay. But more important, he was finally able to create the song Inspiration. And that song was great. And now he's opened up the floodgates, and he's writing songs that he loves to make. But his microphone got thrown away during one of the many moves he made by mistake. So he's not recording, but that don't stop or slow him. His momentum is rolling with no sign of slowing, and every rhyme's a poem, and every line he's pouring every bit of his soul into every rhyme, and no one can never try and slow him, 'cause he ain't writing for no one. And if no one likes it, then so what? Now listen up, because you know what? This is the part where he blows up.